Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines. The power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful. To make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina. Energy to do our thing, get your camera up. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go! Oh, hey guys. My name is Brian, that is Shane. Welcome! The BRANE Show is back!
Now that the preview's gone, I don't get to time the intro. So like I'm watching it over here on YouTube with everybody else, but I'm like 10 seconds behind. So it's hilarious. Anyways, welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
It's been, I don't know, a couple months.
It's been a little bit. Yeah, we were demonetized again.
That's the story.
Yeah, but what we did was we got to
Again, for the same stupid fucking reason.
I know.
My brother.
Stop. Okay. Yes, we're demonetized again. Doesn't matter. Also, the computer fried at some point. Hard drive lost hard drive. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
We got to reset everything up. So we are now also streaming on both Rumble and on X.
Whoa.
Come get it. That's right.
Somehow I feel naked.
And we have a new chat highlight thing, which is really cool. It actually look at this thing. It has a cool animation. I'm digging it.
Where are you seeing?
Oh, you can't see the preview now.
I can't see anything anymore.
Well, everyone else can see it.
I can't see nothing. All right, that's great. As long as you guys can see it, I have no idea.
Well, now you can see me. That's what's important.
So yes, so hopefully you guys all had a great Christmas, a happy New Year, and you're ready for 2025. Brian, what are the things we're going to be talking about today?
Well, we're talking a little bit about the fires, and
yes, we've solved it.
Our goal is to not spend like an hour talking about each topic, or one topic and then 3 minutes on another topic. Our goal is to spend 10 minutes or so on each topic, so that everything is able to get out there, and the entire show is not about one thing, because some people get bored with that.
Well, it depends on if we're incited by it, and if you're bored while Brian's freaking out or I'm on a rant, then you're crazy. But anyways, these things we're discussed today. Yes, Southern California, Los Angeles, and Hollywood is on fire.
We didn't start the fire,
and we didn't, but we know who started it.
Yeah, we did.
And what's interesting is we're
Biden.
gonna talk about it because he could not find.
He couldn't find the fire.
He couldn't find Los Angeles on a map right now. So we're going to talk about the fire. We're going to talk about why it's happening and what it means to you and the rest of the country. Because believe it or not, in the world, it actually impacts you guys. What happens here with our stupid governor impacts you guys, and we'll talk about why. We're going to talk about how it's possible that the United States is going to make Greenland great again. That's been in the news all week. It's jaw-dropping, interesting. We're going to talk about the Panama Canal. Are we going to be Indian givers? I don't even know if that term's appropriate anymore. We used to be able to say, don't be an Indian giver, meaning you give somebody something and then take it back.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to say that anymore.
Not allowed to say that anymore now.
Now you're a Native American giver.
No,
sounds wrong.
No, it's indigenous people giver.
What? I don't even know what that means. Like I think we're all indigenous to like Africa, all of us. So
yeah, at some point.
Canada, should it become the 51st state?
Yes.
These are things none of us have ever thought about before, but suddenly we're all talking about it, which is interesting.
Think about it all the time.
New York judge wanted to sentence our upcoming president, even though he's going to be president in 9 days. They were trying to sentence him to prison still. That'll be interesting. A Democrat in Congress suggested lowering the voting age to 16. Right. One of our representatives.
Can we raise it to 36?
I would think minimum 36. 16.
Early 30s.
There's a reason why. We'll talk about it. So Zuckerberg was on Mark Zuckerberg was on Joe Rogan yesterday.
The Zuck.
And I know everybody's pretty mad at Zuckerberg because he seems almost like a Bond villain at this point.
I don't know.
And now that he's working out, like it's like he's almost Lex Luthor. Shave the head.
It's funny though. He started smoking weed and surfing and smoking meats, and now he has like a full mop and he's wearing baggy t-shirts. He went from like a lizard robot guy to like a 90s stoner. He
looks like a gym rat now. He looks like a gym rat.
Yeah.
But he basically, laid it all out there that the Biden administration basically brutally attempted to force Meta to censor us. And and the fact that we live in a world where everybody's like, no, okay. If you go back to that time, we were all very upset about it. But before we get into it, we were really mad. But before we get into it, we are demonetized. So
wait. I have something for this. Sorry.
I know. I see it.
Okay.
You have something else that I'm not going to see.
No, yeah, you haven't seen it. This. Oh, you can't see that, can you? I'm sorry.
I won't see it.
This is our website. If you go to thebraneshow.com, if you wanted to support us there, you could support us there with the super chats, and it will pop up on our system. You can also see the chat while we're live. You can actually watch the entire live show there and see the chat and everything.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's as the best we can get with being demonetized. And then we also have.
Wait, it's almost like we don't need YouTube. We could just stream from our own website. I'm just kidding.
I mean that would be great, but no, everyone will forget we exist.
For a cup of coffee a month, join our mug club. Just kidding. That's not.
But then also you can go.
You feel like Steven Crowder light or something here.
Oh yeah, if we had a mug club, what would we be called?
Oh, ours would be called the Stein Club because we need them bigger. We need like a bigger mug.
Yeah, we're cooler.
Yeah. Or just fatter.
You can also support us if you want by going to mxtz.co/brain. It's right here, mxtz.co/brain.
Yes.
And we have a brand new shirt. It's called Gen X. Speak your mind. I can handle it.
Listen, if you want to support the channel, this is the best way to do it. You get something for it. It supports us. YouTube isn't taking half of it. Like let's just every time you guys super chat, which we love super chats, but YouTube gets half of it. Here, you get a shirt and we still get half of it. So you get something and we still get the same thing you're going to give us in the first place. So listen, Gen X, speak your mind. I can handle it. I think most of the people who watch here are either Gen X. We're going to have a baby boomer shirt up there. I think our baby boomer shirt's going to be something like, yes, I'm a baby boomer, but I'm still tougher than you, I think is the one we're going to come up with. And we're going to have a millennial one. Although we're still trying to figure out what we want to do with you youngins.
Oh, I figured out how I can share my tab with you, Shane. Real time.
Well, there it is.
Right? Yeah, all right, cool.
It's a good looking shirt.
Yeah.
So anyways, you go there, support it. Yeah. Use coupon code. We don't have one yet.
No, we don't have one yet.
We'll come up with a coupon code. So for now, just support the channel.
Yeah.
We'll get you a coupon code later.
And, in a month or two, when we're able to, I actually don't know how long it's going to take. Because I guess we can reapply for memberships and all that stuff in like a month and a half. But we don't know how long it's going to take for them to approve it. So let's just be like realistic and be like, all right, in a couple months is when we'll get memberships and all that stuff back. And when we do, great. But in the meantime,
we're
still here.
Listen. Yes, absolutely. And listen, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there. I see some very familiar faces. Anthony Mark, Christy's Corner, Dutch Butters. What's up, buddy? Penny, Lord Thoth, bear with me. A lot of you guys have been supporting us through this entire thing on Twitter and other platforms. And we just want to tell you that it does not go unnoticed. And we appreciate you guys always having our back. So with that said, Brian, what do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about, we need to talk about the fires first, I think.
Okay. I agree.
Because this is both, we talked a little bit on the Salty Saturday show, but we couldn't get into detail there. Something that really drives me nuts about this whole thing is how do I explain it? The problem with the LA fires is that a lot of people are continually talking about climate change. They're using this as a reason to push climate change or big oil or whatever. Things that aren't the actual problem. Because the real problem, I just lost Shane right now. Just lost him. Where'd you go, Shane? Oh. Hold up, guys. I just lost Shane. I don't know where he went. Great start to our show. Shane just took off. All right. He was like, I'm gonna leave now. Oh, there he is. He's back. You okay, bro?
Let me tell you, the thing that's always going to be a problem, no matter how great computers get, is bandwidth. Bandwidth is always going to be a problem. I hate that.
Oh, you ran out of bandwidth?
I have no idea. Everything's just going ape shit crazy over here on my side. So, everything just came down. My computer didn't. Just Chrome.
Are you good now?
I have no idea. Can you see me?
I can see you. Can you see me?
I can. I'm talking to you. We're good.
Okay. When we're back.
Anthony Mark. Shane, come back, Shane. I recently revisited that movie, and it didn't age well, but that's funny.
So the problem with the LA fires for me is, for everyone, is that the liberals want to jump on this climate change train really quickly. They want to jump on the don't blame management, stop playing the blame game, people need help. And sure, there are people that are suffering, 100%. But this is the perfect time to bring up how inept the government of Los Angeles is and the people that are making decisions are.
Can we, before you go into all this, can we just explain what's going on? Not everybody may be aware. Just kind of give like an overview of what's happening.
Right, yeah. So bottom line is we have Santa Ana winds here in California, and they get really fast, 100 miles an hour plus. And
there's between 7 and 10 fires going on in a basically 100-mile radius.
Right.
Here, so that's what's happening down here.
In case
you guys aren't aware.
Here's an example of it right here, right? This is outside of a McDonald's. Those are the Santa Ana winds just ripping into this fire. And when you add oxygen and wind to a fire, it spreads.
Right. So there's a fire. So just for context purposes, okay, so I'm about 30 miles north of the nearest fire. Okay. And Brian is probably about 30 miles south.
Right.
Okay. So we're literally just opposite sides. So this is definitely in our community. It's something that affects all of us, and we're very familiar with it. But here's the thing that you guys need to know about these fires, and Brian's going to get all into it. This is not abnormal.
No.
It's abnormal to be burning in Los Angeles, but it's not abnormal because we have multiple fires all year long.
It's a common thing here.
Decades. It's been happening for decades. The problem is, and the reason why this is a big deal right now, is because rich people and people in Hollywood's homes are burning down. It is a very large fire, but that's why it's getting so much attention. We had just 3 months ago, half of our 3 to 5 miles from me, 1,000 homes burned. Right. 1,000 homes burned down. And it was a little bit of coverage, but you didn't hear about it because it's not in and around Hollywood, which this is. Right. So I'm just going to give context about what's going on in the state of California. And now, Brian, go for it.
Yeah. The reason it's on fire, and let me just back up real quick. What you said was actually really important. This is not uncommon. This happens every single year. Every year we have wildfires of varying degrees. Every single year. It's almost like Florida has hurricanes. We have wildfires. It's a pretty common thing. We can actually deal with wildfires. We can deal with the problem before it happens by clearing out underbrush, by making sure our reservoirs are full of water, by not dumping our water into the ocean, by not giving our equipment away to other countries, by maintaining our fire department, not cutting the budget, basic maintenance. We can limit how devastating these wildfires are. But every year we fail miserably. And this year was especially bad because on top of failing miserably, the winds were extra fast, and they started blowing the embers all over the place. Additionally, and I'm not sure why you would cut funding to the fire department. the year before, several months before big wildfire season happens. I'm not sure why you would do that. I'm not sure why you would cut funding to the fire department at all when you live in California. I don't understand that. Why would you give away your equipment when you live in California? I don't understand that. None of it makes any sense. Imagine if you lived in Florida and you knew hurricanes came every year, and you decided to we're not gonna shore up the windows, and we're not gonna invest in sandbags, and we'll let it work itself out. No big deal. Of course, devastation is going to happen, and this is a common thing every single year for decades and decades and decades. Yet the state of California is always surprised. By the way, Shane is restarting his computer because apparently it just broke again. But every year, for years and years and years, we have wildfires every single year. But every single year, the leadership and the government of California is surprised that it's happening, surprised at the severity, surprised at the wind, at how fast the wind is. All that. We're always surprised in this state when it happens every year. It doesn't make any sense. It's like we're dealing with people that don't really care if people's homes burn down. They don't care. They would rather virtue signal and give a bunch of our fire equipment to the Ukraine and get articles written about it in the paper than actually have the equipment to put out fires when the wildfire season comes. The fact that our government cut funding for the fire department, on top of all the super DEI stuff they're doing, like they're just hiring people because they're black or because they're LGBT or because they're a woman, not based on their qualifications, not based on their strengths and weaknesses, completely based on their sexual identity or their gender identity and nothing else, which makes honestly no sense. Shane's back. Let me get him in here real quick. I got you, Shane. I got you, bro. Don't worry. I thought I had you. I don't see. Oh, there he is. Okay. So they're not making decisions based on knowing that the fire is going to happen every year. They're making decisions based on virtue signaling, based on what sexual identity they're going to hire so they can get put in the paper and so all their celebrity friends can tell them how great they are. That's virtue signaling by giving our equipment to the Ukraine, whatever. On top of all that, the insurance companies, which have no political motivations, they are canceling fire insurance because they're seeing that every year on year, the situation is never taken care of, and it's not financially viable for them to continue supporting a community that refuses to clear out underbrush, refuses to keep reservoirs open, refuses to put funding where it needs to be to do what it takes to prevent fires. They cannot support a community that refuses to take care of itself. So they're canceling. Everyone's
let me clarify a little bit that for you, okay?
Go ahead.
There's a little bit of thing. There's more information here.
And I'm not simping for insurance companies. Screw them.
It's there's just more facts to it. So it's not that simple. So the insurance companies actually did not want to drop their fire policies. Okay, they didn't want to drop insurance policies. What they did is they tried to raise rates in California. Now there's an argument that they shouldn't be raising rates. They don't need to raise rates. Okay. But they did. They tried to raise rates. They said, listen, we can't afford to keep, if we're going to have these fires all the time, but Newsom would not allow them to raise rates. So they started dropping policies because, and here's the real reason. So they're both villains. Gavin Newsom did the right thing by not letting them raise rates. But at the same time, you have these insurance companies who, listen, what are you paying for insurance here? Okay. It's about between $12,000 and $15,000 a year, okay, for homeowners insurance.
Right.
All right. So right now, earthquakes, nope. This is California. Earthquakes aren't covered under those policies. You have to get a special policy, pay extra money to be covered for an insurance. Okay. Now they want to remove fire from it. So basically the only thing that can happen to your house is if you have a plumbing leak. So you're paying $12,000 to $15,000 a year in case you might have a plumbing leak because they want to remove the fire stuff. Now, the thing with the fire stuff is, I want you to think about this. If they have 1 million people, if they have 1 million people, okay, that are paying, and I think the average is 4%, let's say 5%, let's give them 5%. State Farm, who's the insurance company that we're talking about here, okay, is making $1 billion a month. $1 billion a month. Now you're telling me they can't afford to cover people without raising the rates? Bullshit.
Right. So why can't they raise the rates? Why are they not allowed to?
Because Newsom, they're gouging. So Newsom, they want to raise the rates, and Newsom wouldn't let him, which is the right thing to do. Believe it or not, he did the right thing. But the problem is that, you know, there's got to be some sort of give and take to it, right? So State Farm, he basically said, "Hey, we're going to call your bluff." And State Farm said, "Fine, we're just going to cancel it," because they're already making a ton of money. All these people still you are required to have homeowners insurance. Required to have it.
Oh, in some cases, required to have renter's insurance. Required to have car insurance. Required to have health insurance. Required.
Right. And when you do that with insurance, it makes it, you put all the power in the insurance companies.
So the government needs to stay out of it completely.
Right.
They should have nothing to do with it whatsoever. The government, who is inept enough to not understand that fires happen every goddamn year, should have nothing to do with fire insurance.
So let's talk about why the fires happen every year. Okay. So I know you did this whole diatribe and it was really good, but let's talk about why it's happening. Okay. Because California fires didn't always happen like this. It was not always this way. We've had fires. We would have fires every few years, but it was usually naturally occurring, or it was arson, or something was happening. Right. The reason why we're having them so bad is because it is very dry. Okay. But also when it was super wet 2 years ago, we still had fires.
Right.
Okay. Because when the Santa Ana winds come, like this video that Brian showed, we've had fires. Okay. When the Santa Ana fire winds come, and any sort of fire is going to cause it to go. So what do we know? Arson, big deal in Southern California. Most fires are actually caused by arsonists.
Right.
Okay. Most fires are there's sick people who are out there want to start fires. Well, what we're learning is that some of these sick people are homeless people. Okay. And it was yesterday, there was an arrest made by citizens in a community who saw a guy with a blowtorch, one of those acetylene blowtorches you carry around.
Right.
And he was going towards a pile of Christmas trees in a neighborhood where he was trying to light it on fire.
Like a super villain.
Like exactly where he was trying to, in Woodland Hills, actually, which is about, I don't know, 15 miles from here.
I can just imagine he was wearing those like welder's goggles, and he had like one of those straight jackets.
No, because he's a homeless guy. So here's the thing. Okay?
Where did he get the torch, bro?
Okay, this gets really weird. So the day before these fires happened, okay, right here, 2 miles from my house, we have a riverbed. A river bottom is what we call it. It goes out into the ocean, Pacific Ocean, and it's usually pretty dry. And all of our homeless population, which is huge,
it's
here
huge
in Ventura County, which is huge, they live there. They live in the overgrown bushes and stuff back there. And so they're in there. Guess what?
Same in my city too. It's the riverbed they live in.
Right, but yours is made of concrete. Okay, mine is made of bushes and dirt, like a regular, the one that you live in is a giant concrete thing.
Right.
So when you light a fire in the brush and you want to cook your food because there's no power out there, there's no microwaves, right? These people are out there cooking their food and doing their drugs.
Yeah, they're basically gypsies, by the way. Like they have a whole community. Like during the 4th of July last year.
I think you're giving them too much credit by calling them gypsies, bro.
I guess that's true. Okay. I guess it's
they're drug addicts. They're mentally challenged.
Right,
people.
But they do have a community of crazy people. Like all live there.
Well, gypsies weren't crazy, but okay.
I'm not saying gypsies are crazy, but the closest modern equivalent to that, I guess, is like this huge encampment of people, and they migrate up and down the riverbeds.
Right. So, So anyways, they light their fires. So when the Santa Ana winds come, they don't control them. They're all whacked out on drugs.
Of course they're not.
And they're like, oh, put your fire out. And so there ends up fire. And we literally have, within 2 or 3 miles of me here, we have about 3 of these fires per year. Right. And we're ready for them because our fire, they get them out really quick because they know that they all live there.
Yep.
So here's the problem. Okay. This is happening constantly here in all of these communities, in the Palisades, in Burbank, in Altadena and Pasadena, and all these places where there's fires, there's huge homeless populations.
Yeah.
And the same types of things are happening. Now we're finding homeless people are arsoning on purpose. This guy was saying, you can't stop me. I must do this. He was like all freaked out, must light this fire. Okay. This homeless guy, this guy was on probation, or he was actually had a warrant for his arrest because he was beyond his probation. So he'd already been in prison. Okay. Drug addict in prison. Now he's out on the streets doing his thing. So when you were talking about the government not doing its job, here are the ways the government's not doing its job. It's not taking care of its homeless, meaning the ones who are all drugged out and the ones who are crazy need to go into facilities. We can pay for this. If you're going to send $600 billion to Ukraine, which I feel what's going on there, you can spend $1 billion making sure the homeless people aren't terrorizing the people who aren't homeless. That's what's happening in California.
Well, but they also, okay, you're right. But they also cut funding to the fire department. They installed officers.
That wouldn't have made no difference.
They installed officers that had very little experience, completely based on their gender and sexual identity.
100% not true, by the way.
No,
I know. I heard you say that.
They did. True. I mean, no, you can literally.
I understand they hired people based on DEI, but they were not inexperienced people. And let me tell you something about
that's not true though, because the assistant fire chief had very little experience before she got the job as assistant fire chief.
Listen, the fire chief isn't out there putting out fucking fires.
No, but the same person that said, "If I can't carry you, that's your fault," was literally installed as the assistant chief after a year of being in the fire department.
Listen, the firefighters are not the problem here. Listen, you're being distracted. Okay, by
this stupid DEI this shit. Is one part of it. They also didn't have the reservoirs full.
It's not. Okay. Yeah, the reservoirs weren't full, which probably wouldn't have put the fires out. Let me tell you what the problem is.
Sure.
Let me lay it out to you here for you. Okay, the problem is that they don't fucking take care of the leaves and the trees and all the stuff, the brush that are near these homes. It's something that we used to do.
Yeah. And also the underbrush.
All the underbrush should be cleaned out in these neighborhoods and these homes. 100%. If you don't want, well, first off, so I was trying to lay it out to you how you get it. I want to take it away from the firefighters. Let me tell you what, these guys and ladies and whoever they are, they're all fighting very hard on it. Their lack of fighting is not what's causing this to happen. Okay, that we can all be distracted
by equipment, lack of water.
That is not what's causing this to happen.
Dude, the fire department is out there with purses trying to dump water onto something with a purse. They're using trash bags to put water. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not what's happening. See, you're distracted by the real problem, and they want you to be distracted by it. Okay, so
you're talking about how the problem started, but in the process of fighting the fire, they need equipment to do so.
There are thousands of firefighters in the area down there from other places. They were not going to stop this fire before it happened. They've already been reporting on it. There was no way they would have needed 5 times the resources they currently have, 5 times in order to have caught this fire to stop it from destroying all the homes. There's no way it wouldn't have happened. We need a better policy where we incorporate local fire. We either need to pay for more fire people. Yeah. We need to either have, more firehouses, more things, more stuff, right? Which is possible too. Or we need to have better coordinated, which is what California does. Here's how California works. All the firefighters in California they're your gypsies. They're constantly moving up and down California from different cities and trying to help each other and put out fires. That's how it works. Okay. I got 2 or 3 firefighter friends here close to me that this is what they do for a living.
They travel up and down the coast.
Every time there's a fire, they all go to it.
Yeah.
So, and they just all work. California works as this big, and the problem is it takes a long time for people to get here. They're talking about firefighters coming up from Mexico and coming down from Canada and coming from Florida.
That's insane.
You know how long it takes for them to get there? It's too late.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine who was in prison who used to work as on the California fire team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were
10
doing
years while he was in prison.
That's right. Prisoners used to break down the brush.
Right.
on the sides of the freeways in different places. But here's the thing. Gavin Newsom is going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in resources to stop these fires and to everything that's going to cost this state. What would it have cost us just to clean out the brush? What would have cost us to maintain the deforestation around communities so that we didn't have this stuff happen? A fraction of it.
Yeah, so you can't control the homeless population, all that stuff, but you can control the underbrush.
No, I think you can control the homeless population. And listen, we're going to have to, we got to put on our big boy and big girl pants, and we got to go out there and do some things that people aren't going to like. So if you are,
what are you talking about, bro?
Well, I know, right? If you are a mentally
mentally ill,
homeless person, you need to be in an institute. If you are a whacked out drug addict on the street who can't help but to attack people, you need to go to a hospital until you're well enough to be then dealt with, go to prison, or to find a way to get a new start in your life. There needs to be something needs to be done.
I have no idea how to deal with that. I do know exactly how to clear out underbrush. So I don't know how the complicated way of dealing with homeless people, but I know that we can easily get rid of the underbrush
because the state doesn't want to pay for it. Now, if you're saying that the fire departments, the local fire departments, right, maybe their resources should have gone into that, and maybe we should have had people out there clearing brush. Maybe we should have, instead of letting people in prison hang out, watch Judge Judy and eat bonbons all day, and maybe they should be out working. Right? Because why don't you help society since you were trying to break it down? So anyways, there's lots of reasons why this is bad. And it's all related to what you were talking about earlier, which is governmental problems.
Yeah.
The government is the problem.
Right.
Because the government is more concerned with what you said, which is virtue signaling, right? Making sure that they look right. Gavin Newsom's whole goal is to look good. That's all he cares about.
That's his whole thing. He just cares about looking good. Right.
And let me tell you why this matters to all of you guys. Because Gavin Newsom will stop being our problem in 2027.
Will he though?
In 2027, he is term limited out. He is term limited out. He can no longer be governor of our state.
Yes,
and let me tell you what he's going to do.
We're going to elect the next stupid Democrat that has the same haircut as he is to do the same exact job. Like
Perhaps because, well, no, Governor Brown was an old man. It is different, and it was Schwarzenegger.
They're literally related.
No, they're not.
They're related through marriage with Nancy Pelosi.
No, they're not.
The Browns and the Browns.
The Browns and the Pelosi's are, but not the Newsoms.
No, the Newsoms. Yes, the Newsom is literally the Pelosi's nephew.
He's not actually.
Yes, he's married into their family.
I don't believe so.
100%. Like
okay, I looked into that last night.
Those people are all connected.
So the point is that
I have a video of him.
The reason why he's a problem, the reason why it's a problem, is because he's going to run for president in 2028.
yeah.
That's why he's going to be your problem. I'm telling you, this guy is
he's going to stop
the oiliest snake of all.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris was easy to beat because she was an idiot.
Right.
This guy is not an idiot.
No, this guy's a comic book villain, dude.
And I'm telling you right now, JD Vance needs to start prepping now because this guy's coming and he's terrifying, honestly.
Yeah, this guy. This is who Shane's talking about.
How to keep people safe, no looting, zero tolerance for looting. That's why these guys are out here,
right?
And I'm very grateful for them, particularly for these critical checkpoints that allow law enforcement to move more mobily and do the interior work.
Yeah.
Wait, did he say we have no room for looting?
Yeah.
Wait, weren't you the one who said we shouldn't put people in prison for destroying public property and these minor little things like he's the one. Breaking into people's homes?
Yeah, no room for looting, guys. Unless it's under $1,000, then go crazy whenever you want.
Well, he says the things that you want to hear when people are listening, when it's important, and that's part of his problem.
Yeah. Another quick clip from this, and we're gonna move on. The sign language people that are coming out are making me. I don't even know if what they're saying is real. I don't know if they're actually doing real sign language, but they're movie stars. This is like a clip from like SNL or something. Watch this.
Well, in coordination with our federal and state partners, how we can stop the messages that are going out right now that are not being initiated.
It's only you only do that because of his
human
haircut, bro.
action.
No, there's more. So this
To
guy,
stop that.
and then,
then
look at
understand
there's
how
another guy. I don't know what's up
Their
with
moment to shine, bro.
this.
This is their moment.
Is that what it is?
How often do they get in front of the camera?
The sign language people are something else. Look, there's another guy.
He looks better dressed than
An
everybody else up there.
extreme
This guy.
amount of frustration, anger, fear with regards to the erroneous messages that have been being sent out through the wireless emergency alert system across LA County. I can't express
Well, listen,
enough.
this is going to sound like you're
How-
making fun of some people who sign.
I'm not
Let's be
making fun
clear.
of him.
Let's be clear. We were not making fun of that. What we're making fun of is his facial expressions while he's signing.
They're so
Because that is
animated.
absolutely hilarious. That dude is more animated than the guy talking. And maybe that's part of sign languaging, so you kind of get what the impression is supposed to be like. But it used to be those guys were in the corner in a little bubble, right? They were on the top of your TV screen in a little circle, and you just saw them giving the signs. Now they're like right up on the podium, man.
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't want to be an ableist in today's society. Why do you have the sign person in the corner?
Yeah. You used to have the
Put
guy
him up in the.
You're right. You used to have the
actually
guy
need
in the
person
corner,
talking to do sign language at the same time.
and he had very little like expression, and they're just ASL signing. And now you got them right up on the podium, and they're doing a little dance.
The next thing they're going to be actually talking and doing sign language. That's what it's going to be. But listen, I mean, it's important. People who can't hear need to see. But that is.
I mean, don't we have subtitles?
We do, and that's probably how most people do it. But listen, do you want to be the first government agency to be like, yeah, we fired the sign language guy? No, you don't want it. You don't want that, right?
I just
You don't want that heat.
subtitles make so much more sense.
I can hear fine, and I have the subtitles on because my TV volume is not very good.
Hey, so we did get a Rumble
Oh,
from JC Chappie for $10. It's a Rumble rant. I didn't even know we can do that.
How do I haven't even. Can I see us on Rumble? I'm
Yeah,
afraid
go to
bring it up.
Rumble. Thank you, JC. I don't know. I didn't set it up to put it on the screen here. Next week I'll do that. I didn't know we can get Rumble rants. So that's a whole new thing to me. I didn't know we were monetized on Rumble.
We are?
Apparently we are.
Let me tell you what. Thank you, Rumble, because YouTube. Yeah.
And we got a Rumble rap from JC Chappie. He says, getting the pickle party started. Tried to donate via Streamlabs. Got an error. Of course you did. I'm glad. Thank you for trying over here. Glad you guys are back. And YouTube censorship. Climate change isn't real, but government incompetence is. Middle finger, middle finger, middle finger, middle finger. Thank you, JC. Yeah, I don't know why Streamlabs isn't working. So I guess I'll figure that out next week. But more importantly, you figured out on Rumble. And you know what? You actually taught me something because I didn't even know we were monetized on Rumble. So that's cool. Thanks, man. How do you copy the link to this? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna put the link in chat.
Yeah,
So people
that's
can
cool.
go there. There it
That's
is.
cool. I see us on Rumble. First time we've been live on Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've had a presence on Rumble for a long time since the platform first started, but we never went live.
Very cool. Okay, so now I got us up on both screens. Fantastic. Okay, so just putting a pin on the fires here. Although there was a nice tweet I wish we could look at that shows all the people's homes who were destroyed, the famous people.
Oh yeah. Okay, you said it was a tweet? I had the
Yeah,
stuff
it would've
with
It's in Slack.
oh, okay. You sent me a tweet on Slack.
Well, I put a link to the tweet.
Put a
in
link
Slack.
to the tweet. in
Podcast.
Slack. Oh, I see it. Yeah, and by the way, James Woods, who the left was making fun of for crying, right? So he was crying about his house, which is, of course, he was. This is what happened.
Well, he wasn't crying about his house. He was crying about the reaction. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever. So he was emotional, right? The left was making fun of him, but well, check this out, bro. The left was making fun of him until Everyone's house burned down except for James Wood's house.
Jesus, no.
Look at that.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Watch what he says.
That's Pally High School.
That's the destruction.
This is everything below us. Oh my God. It's our neighbor's house.
Yeah, I mean it's really sad, but
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
but their house is virtually unscathed.
well, that's good.
He says the miracles happened. We managed to get our property and our home that we were told was gone forever is still standing. Crazy.
Well, here's the thing. They had to be. The reason why he was crying was they had to be evacuated, right? And so they were evacuated, and his granddaughter came to him with her little piggy bank and said, "I'm so sorry, Papa. I'll help you pay for it." And he just broke down. And like, listen, if you're a man with kids and grandkids, you would have done the same thing. So.
Yeah, you kidding me? I just got a little teary eyed just hearing you say tell that story for third party. Yeah. All right, so here's the link. Here's the thread that Shane was talking about. Looks like Julia Louis Dreyfus lost her home.
I don't see it on the screen.
Oh,
there. Is it? Should I see it? There it is. Okay,
I did it.
I know. I shouldn't even be here. Honestly, this should just be.
Her house is not that big. I'm actually surprised. I thought she had. I would assume she would have a larger house. Also,
they're expensive, bro. Even the small ones are expensive.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Milo, I don't know who this person is.
Just skip to the people you know.
Okay, Mel Gibson.
Oh, Mel Gibson was funny. He was on the Rogan show like 2 days ago, and he's like, "Yeah, I think my house is burning down right now."
Right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yep, we're gonna lose it. And Joe Rogan's like, "Is it time to get out of California?" He's like, "Yeah, I think so."
Yeah, it's time to go. Barbara Cochran from Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, yep.
She denied our entry when we applied. So,
well, what's interesting is she's from New York, so I guess it's her LA house.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get to people I actually know. I don't know any of these people. Jeez.
You know the reason why you feel bad.
John C. Reilly.
Mm-hmm. The reason why you feel bad for people like John C. Reilly or these are actors who were really popular a while back, and they made okay money, but not a ton of money probably. And so they're like most of their money's in their homes now.
Right.
Rob McElhenney.
Yep. Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny and Mythic Quest. Dude, is Colby Smothers? I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
I can see the wheels turning in your brain right now.
Colby Smothers married this guy? Taron Killam? Are you kidding me right now?
Actually, he's very funny. Very funny. He is hilarious, guy. He is so funny. He is one of my favorite SNL guys.
It's Colby Smothers.
I get it, but listen, when you're funny, you get hot chicks.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's pretty much how I got married. So,
funny all the time.
Eugene Levy.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. A bunch of other people. You guys should go check it out.
Oh wait, there's one that you're gonna find interesting.
Right Denise Crosby.
Yeah.
She looks angry all the time. You ever notice that?
Listen, when you decide to leave a very popular TV show, and it gets even more popular, and you're like, and then your career dies. Yeah,
she's always pissed off, right? Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on. Let's talk about. I want to make sure we get to Zuckerberg. So
we can talk Zuck next. That's fine.
Let's talk about Zuck. All right, so Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook. All right. He started Facebook.
Sorry.
He doesn't own it outright.
Meta.
Meta. Is it Meta now? So he's the CEO of Meta, which owns Facebook.
And WhatsApp and Instagram.
And
Oculus.
And probably a bunch of like Korean porn websites that we don't even know about. Who knows?
To each their own.
He probably owns controlling interest in a lot of stuff that scrapes data.
He is currently the third richest man in the world.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Well,
That stock's like $650 a share.
here's the deal. For the longest time, Facebook was sort of it was almost as bad as old Twitter was, when you really couldn't say anything. And it was worse because on Twitter you might get banned or muted or whatever, blocked. But on Facebook, they wouldn't even tell you did something wrong. They would just shadow ban you, which means you would be out there screaming into the wind and no one can hear you based on your political opinion, which is worse.
Yeah. Instead of being killed, you were ostracized and you didn't even know it.
And you didn't even know it. Right.
Let me tell you what, I implore all of you, do not forget the way things were from 2000, whatever it was. What was it? 2018 to 2022. Don't forget the way it was on Facebook, on Twitter. Don't let him listen. And Mark Zuckerberg, listen, I've been rooting for this guy because he's young and he's idealistic and he's an American and I want him to help make our country better. But let me tell you something. Right now, he may be having a change of heart, but a lot of this has to do with self-preservation.
100%.
So,
yeah. So bottom line though, Facebook was bad because it was really bad because it would quarantine you. It would quarantine you without you even know you were quarantined.
You were quarantined, right? Yeah.
So you'd be out there trying to talk about and I can't even say it because I don't want to get demonetized again or further demonetized. But out there talking
Which
about,
is still a problem.
It's still a problem on YouTube. Yeah, the jab, right? You guys all know what that is. You try to talk about the jab on Facebook, and you'd get quarantined. You try to talk about, you would try to have support for some Republican, quarantine. Basically, it got so bad because they put together like a health and safety team, but out of like the dozen people that ran that department, 11 of them were hardcore leftists, and there's just one lone centrist being like,
well, that's part of it. Yeah, that's part of it.
I don't know if we should censor everything, guys.
Yeah.
So
that's part of it. But there's also the fact that during Trump's administration, the Justice Department, the CIA, the FBI, and all of the three-letter agencies were working against Trump for his 4 years in office, and then continued. So really, they were until the Twitter files. They were basically trying to shut down, any conservative American voices.
Right. And so what happened is recently Zuckerberg, and we're not going to play the announcement, but basically he announced that they're going to be going to more of a community notes type feature on Facebook.
Like X.
Like X. He even mentioned X, like X, which is sort of, it's huge because I think that that Zuckerberg's a little bit on the spectrum, and he doesn't really hold a grudge against Elon Musk, even though like a year ago they were threatening to fight each other, if you recall.
And who doesn't want to see two autistic people fight? I mean, honestly.
God damn it. Yeah, I do. I do so want
to
see that.
I wanted to see them fight, but I don't want them to hurt each other's brains because their brains are so important.
Right. But I
don't hurt each other's brains.
Especially if they're like working out. He's like doing MMA. Like, I really want to see like these two people just go at it. Anyways, but they clearly don't care about that anymore. And they clearly got past it really quick because he said, look, we're gonna adopt the community notes type feature. It works better. We're gonna fire the trust and safety team or whatever, and we're gonna open up speech. And he even gave examples. So he's basically going to be copying X. Why he's doing it? Yes, it could be a change of heart. It could be part of that. It could also be that Trump literally said, like, if this doesn't happen, we're gonna come after you. So a big portion of this is, or not Trump, but Trump's people. A big portion of this is Zuck maintaining, Facebook. But a part of it could also be that change of heart because he did, and this is the clip I want to play, he did endure the Biden administration calling them, screaming at them, cursing at them to take down content and censor people. And this is what he says on Joe Rogan.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse. And it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Oh, did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think.
I love that Joe Rogan's like, did you record any of those phone calls? Of course. We all want to see that.
But I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, And they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to.
So I'm going to let him play, but I got to interject here so that we don't get in trouble. And because I want to. Imagine the president of the United States office calling you and saying, hey, that random person with no reach, no platform, no followers posted a funny meme about COVID. Take it down.
Yeah, no, that would be you're kind of in a tough spot, right? Because you don't want the government to come after you, and I'm sure that they're not doing things 100% perfectly all the time, and they could become after.
Yeah, so that was the next question I have. Why can't they just say no? Well, that's probably why. They probably don't want the DOJ looking into hiring practices, information requests, all that stuff.
Sure. You got to protect yourself.
All right, let's keep going.
Take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Wow.
That's crazy. So maybe another part of his change of heart is the fact that he's the people that he was defending are going after him.
That's not it.
No,
that's not it. He doesn't, there's no loyalty there. I think he would have, here's the thing. He's making a transformation. Obviously, he's MMA fighting. He's working out. He's hanging out with dudes who are libertarian values.
He's smoking meats in his backyard. He's like, yo, check out this meat I'm smoking.
Let me tell you what happens to guys once they get a little bit older, right? They start to realize how important freedom is, right, and how important freedom of thought is. This is what happens to men. And he's going through that age. He's at that age where that's happening, but he hasn't made the complete change yet, because he's arguing at some points. He's like, well, I can see why the government was trying to, they're looking out for our best interest. You could see the boy, right, still in the man.
Right.
He is changing, but his philosophy hasn't. So Elon Musk is 100%, completely on the other side, and Zuckerberg's coming, and it's only good for the way we think and the way we believe, because honestly, dude, if you think the government is really just looking out for your best interest, the government is made up of people just like you and I. My wife and I were laughing our butts off, because whenever people talk about the government being like this really like smart, evil, well coordinated people, I'm like, we worked in the government. We know who they are. They're idiots. Okay. So they're just people who are out for themselves. Right. That's the problem with government, is they're made up of us. That's the problem with government.
What did Reagan say? I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
No, was that Reagan?
He said the 4 or the 5 most terrifying words.
Did he say? Yeah, yeah, that's true. No, he did. You're right.
I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm here to help. No, it's 100% true. But that's the philosophy of that side. People want to be taken. Listen, it's never going to end. It's never going to change. This is the way politics work. All we can do is hope for some common sense, and going forward, we can maintain our liberties and a little bit of our patriotism. That's what we're hoping.
Right. And make memes while we're at it.
And make memes. Yes. Memes. Save the memes.
Yeah. Save the memes.
So it's
speaking of memes.
Yep.
Let's make Greenland great again.
You want to go to Greenland? All right, let's go to Greenland. Yeah. The last thing I was going to say was, if you think Joe Biden, just the last, put a pen on this. If you think Joe Biden was the one telling Meta and Twitter and all these people. It wasn't. Joe Biden wasn't running his office. Joe Biden wasn't president. It's all coming out now that the people around him, like his closest advisors, were essentially running our country the last 4 years.
Joe Biden
So
wasn't changing his own diapers.
Yeah,
you understand that, right?
That guy didn't have. After the first few months of office, he was done. So it's been like his advisors running our country for the last 4 years.
Yeah,
How terrifying is that?
unelected officials have been running unelected people have been running the country, and gaslighting us into saying, you know, by saying Biden is completely fine.
Terrifying. Anyways, okay, let's move on.
I mean, it's basically like it's a coup, right? It's like a soft coup.
Well, they're trying to stay in power. So he was elected. They're in power. What are they going to do? As soon as they reveal the fact that he can't be president, they're all going to be replaced.
Right.
So who wants to fire themselves? Nobody does. I mean, we can understand it,
right.
But the problem is that you shouldn't be allowed to hide in your basement like he was, you know, running for president and then becoming president, never talking to the media. There needs to be some sort of, the people need to stop being so stupid. And we did. 2024, we proved insanity must end.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's put an end to this. This ain't working. All right. Well, let's talk about making Greenland great again. I really hope, Shane, that you have a lot more information on this, because I tried to understand this better and I don't fully understand it. I do have a clip though I want to share from a guy who seems to understand this stuff, but who knows? He could just be talking out of his ass.
Well, before you share a clip, let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
So, because we don't just trust what people throw out there, and I do know all about it. So,
right.
So the good news is Greenland. Greenland. This is not the first time that we were interested in buying Greenland. But before we get to that,
right,
let me tell you why Greenland's important. So we already have Alaska, okay, and if you take a look on a map, Alaska and Greenland form this point up into the Arctic Circle. And now that the Arctic ice is melting, you have Russia, right, and China trying to take over that region of the planet. Now, after World War II, we recognized the strategic importance of Greenland, and we started putting bases, radio equipment. During the Cold War, we actually utilized Greenland as well as one of our nets to kind of watch Russia.
Right.
So after all this time, once again, we're in a situation where Russia's expanding, right? And China's trying to exert its dominance. It's trying to drill. It actually is trying to drill in the region and try to get the resources. Canada has most of the rare natural earth resources already that we need for making lithium batteries and for EVs and stuff like that. And they're trying to corner the entire globe on it. So what Trump's been, and he's been talking about this since 2018, is he recognized that Greenland has these resources that we really need. And it also has a strategic location. And now that it's melting a little bit, we can have access to it. So the idea for Greenland to become, you know, one of our, and they're already part of our friends, right? Denmark is an ally. So, and Greenland belongs to Denmark. Greenland is about three times the size of Texas, by the way. It's on a map. You're going to see it looks like it's the size of the United States. It's about 3 times the size of Texas. It's got about 56,000 people population.
Oh.
Mostly Inuit.
We could take over that in our sleep.
We could, but we this talk needs to stop about taking over things militarily.
Look, I mean, yes, okay, buying it is probably better. It does not help. Just take it.
It doesn't help. It does not help with the narrative that Donald Trump is a fascist overlord when he talks like this.
I'm not joking.
And that's the problem.
I'm just joking.
And that's the problem is he's not serious about that. The reason why Trump is saying that he might take Greenland or might take the Panama Canal, he would never do that. The reason he's saying it is he wants them to think maybe it's possible. So he's like, it's not true, but these people don't know if it's not true. So he's trying to use it as a leverage thing to trade. Now, what he's going to do is eventually he's going to have Denmark put pressure on Greenland to basically allow us to exert our authority over that area. We'll have bases there. We'll have our companies will be able to do mining. We're going to have agreements between the Danes. Greenland right now is hilarious. They're like, you know what? Hey, we're ready to be independent. We're ready to talk to Trump. But they belong to another country. So we'll have to see where that goes.
I mean, they can belong to us the same way, Puerto Rico belongs to us.
If it didn't belong, now Puerto Rico is a completely different thing. So we took Puerto Rico during the Spanish-American
War. Right, but
War.
we can buy it and make it a province, right?
If we could. So we bought Alaska, Seward's Folly, from Russia in the 1800s. We bought the Louisiana Purchase from France, right? So we could buy Greenland from Denmark.
Okay, hold that point. Okay. Because this is the video I want to show you.
Let's hear it.
This is Fetterman, who, by the way,
there's a lot of
just a heads up. Remember, Fetterman was
he's Dem.
He's a Democrat, hardcore Democrat, had a lot of really hardcore liberal far left ideas, and then he got a brain tumor. Something bad happened to him, and he had to go to a psych ward. And when he came out of the psych ward, now he's a lot more right wing.
This is what happens.
I can't explain it.
This is what happens when you go through a process. Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, this is Fetterman about Greenland. This is interesting.
Talk about Greenland, for example. Now, and I know there's a lot of freakouts, and of course I would never support taking it by force. But I do think it's a responsible conversation if they were open to acquiring it and whether just buying it outright. I mean, if anyone think that's bonkers, it's like, well, remember the Louisiana Purchase? Oh, I think Alaska was a great deal too. $50 million, I think it was. It was referred to as Seward's Folly, and now that was Alaska now. So, I mean, open to having all kinds of conversations as well. And now I don't think it's not helpful to freak out, but some things might work out, some may not, but that's part of an ongoing dialogue. But he hasn't even taken office in 2 weeks. And, we really need to pace ourselves if we're going to freak out over every last tweet or every last conversation or press conference. But
That's good.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, make no bones about it. Trump is saying things that would incite people who don't like him. When you say, we need to take the Panama Canal back, got to take it back. We gave it away, shouldn't have gave it away. I mean, when you say, we need to go take Greenland, when you say take things, okay, it gets people worked up. And listen, I get why he does it. But man, sometimes I wish he wouldn't say it like that. But hey, what do you do, right? Greenland would be great for us. We need it for strategic. Let's put it this way. We can't let China have it. And China's been trying to get it. So at the very least, we need to work a deal. Listen, maybe we tell Denmark, look, we'll pay for part of your military. We'll give you some money for it. We'll pay part of your military costs. We'll protect you. We already have a base there. So, honestly, there's a way to work this deal, and I think Trump could get it done. The first person to do this was following World War II. President, I just drew a blank, dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Buck stops with me.
I'm forgetting too now.
Basically, after Roosevelt died, he took off. Harry Truman. Harry Truman tried to buy Greenland back when he was in office in the late 1940s, but Denmark wasn't having it. So. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's something we should follow closely, but make no bones about it, guys. We need the resources in Greenland because right now, everybody's going to be buying their batteries from China. And unless we find some other place in the earth to get these resources, China is going to use that as a leverage against the rest of the world.
Lithium is going to be, it already is, but that is going to be the biggest the resource that we need until we come up with a better battery, until we invent a battery that doesn't require lithium or requires less lithium. Maybe it's some carbon nanotubes or something like that. A, we're going to need a lot more lithium, and B, our technology is going to start ignoring Moore's law. There gets to a point where you require more power than you can get, and Moore's law is no longer going to take into effect. We're going to grow stagnant as a technologically advanced society based on our power. And that's very much right now based on battery technology and lithium. Lithium is the next oil. That's the next Texas tea, man.
And there's plenty of it in the Earth's crust. We just have to. It's just unfortunate that most of it is near China and what China controls.
Right.
Okay, so we'll see what happens with Greenland.
We got some Rumble rats over here, by the way.
Really? What up? Bring it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
JC Chappie again for $5. He said, if Trump did this, the left would be losing their shit, and investigations and impeachments and all the media would talk about for the next 4 years. That's very true.
Yeah, it would really detract from what he's doing. What I say is just sit back. Trump's not going to listen, Trump's not going to do what Russia's doing. I know it sounds like it, but you got to understand part of how he operates is through rhetoric. And people just don't know exactly what he's going to do. But I feel pretty confident that he's not going to. He keeps saying, I don't start any wars. I don't start any wars. Why would he start a war? So he's going to apply pressure. He says things that are very ridiculously outlandish. If you just accept that that's part of who he is and recognize, watch what people do, not what they say. Okay. That's where you're going to get all of your information. Watch what people do, not what they say. And things that he does always end up usually working out to our benefit. He's using it as a tactic for, making deals. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Segueing into the Panama Canal, because that's the other thing that we were going to talk about.
Also from Bob Dorsey for $20. Thank you, Bob Dorsey.
Hey, thanks, Bob.
He said, would Zuck be doing this if Kamala won? Referring to the Zuckerberg thing. No. Yeah. This is self-preservation. Dana White is on the board.
Well, here's what I think. I think that Zuckerberg is making the transition, but he's not there yet. So I do think that Trump winning or seeing that Trump was going to win was part of that. Also, do you know when Zuckerberg really started changing? This is very interesting. When Donald Trump got shot. So when Donald Trump got shot, Mark Zuckerberg was like, that may be the most badass thing I've ever seen.
He said that.
He said that because Mark Zuckerberg is starting to respond to stronger men. Like he realizes like the one thing missing in his life is that he has all this, but he's not manly. He even talked on the Joe Rogan show about how it's wrong that we've made being masculine a negative or a bad thing.
Right.
And he went into so that's something that's important to him. So he recognizes this change that he wants to become a strong man. He's already mentally strong. He wants to be physically, he wants to, have his influence also. So he's getting into his 40s, bro. That's what it is. But honestly, he probably would have stayed quiet if Harris had won and let it go for another 4 years. And then my guess is he probably would have jumped on board in 2028 to whatever, more conservative leaning, platform probably is my guess.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. We have one more from Christy. Christy, thank you. She says,
thank you, Christy.
For $10, she has said, here you go, guys. By the way, we have 13 people watching on Rumble. I'm actually sort of shocked. We've been on Rumble for a long time, and I don't think we've ever had 13 views on a video. So
that's true. Let's see what X has.
I'm actually sort of blown away that there's 13 people watching on Rumble, but that's great.
On our first show.
Yeah, on our first show. Well, we're going to be streaming to Rumble, X, and YouTube going forward all at once. We used to be like, let's only keep all of our viewers on one platform, but that's not fair. Some people don't want to use YouTube. So, you know what?
Well said.
Awesome. And you know what? Had we not been streaming to Rumble, we would have no idea that you can actually give us money there. So that's freaking awesome.
So that really helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, and Christy says, I'm watching on YouTube, but went over there to donate. Streamlabs didn't work. So just heads up there.
Streamlabs is not working. So
Thank you,
what?
Christy.
For now, I think Rumble is going to be our platform until I figure out how to deal with Streamlabs.
All right.
Look, maybe the Streamlabs website is not great, but Streamlabs offers a lot of other really good stuff. So
well said.
We're only going to get better as we go, as we learn to integrate this stuff more into the show.
True. So just real quick about the Panama Canal, and we won't get too much into it because we've already talked about Greenland, but essentially Trump also during the same press conference. And hey, how about this, guys? How much do you love your president or soon to be president in 9 days actually talking to the media and talking about things going on? What happened with Biden for 4 years? He didn't answer questions from the media, right? Trump spent more time this week answering questions from the media than Biden has done his entire 4 years as president. So probably doubled it. So anyways, so one of the things he said was that we gave away the Panama Canal, which we did in 1980. So the Panama Canal, if you guys aren't familiar with it, maybe you know all about it. Panama Canal is our waterway that gets us from basically the Atlantic Ocean and the East Coast of the United States into the Pacific. Otherwise, we got to go all the way around South America through the Straits of Magellan, which I've been through, and which is and it's a long trip and it's very dangerous. So what happened was the French back in the late 1800s decided, hey, we're going to take this little short piece of land and we're going to cut a hole through it so we can get we can pass through here and don't have to go all the way through. Brilliant idea. Problem is not enough people wanted to invest in it, so the French ended up having to give it up, and we ended up taking it over. So once we took it over, eventually a lot of people died from malaria and from things to get this thing across. It's 82 kilometers or 51 miles of waterway. I've actually traveled through the Panama Canal on a Navy ship. It's amazing. The lock system, you basically go into this lock, like a pool, I guess. The water fills up. It raises your boat or your ship, right, to the buoyancy level, to the next lock. The gate opens, you go to the next one, it raises you up again, and you essentially go in and you're getting your ship into these pools that keep lifting you up until you get all the way across, and then you sail for a little ways. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating thing. So basically in 1914, we finished the canal and we had control over maritime operations, and it's a big deal because it really changed the way global trade worked. So in when Jimmy Carter was president, there was a lot of talk about, Panama becoming its own country, wanting control of the canal, and Jimmy Carter basically pressured to give it up. But we maintained control of the Panama Canal through 1999, even though we gave it up. And we would eventually end up giving up control of it. From the moment we gave up control of the Panama Canal, China started exerting its influence over it.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't aware, China is trying to influence all of Latin America, South America, Central America, heavily, because it's the only way it can get to us is by doing that. And controlling the Panama Canal is a big deal. If you go through the Panama Canal today, at the beginning of the gate, there's Chinese companies. At the end of the gate, there's Chinese companies. And while I know Trump said that we're getting kind of taken advantage of, I think less monetarily and more losing control and the ability to control it in the future is a problem for us. So
interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Panama Canal. I do know that controlling it is in our best interest. So sign me up. Same with the whole Gulf of Mexico thing. Someone was like, oh, he's trolling people by saying he wants to call it the Gulf of Mexico. And then I did some research, and that's not exactly true. A part of that is also because we banned offshore drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. So renaming it the Gulf of America adds a bunch of
that is true. That's funny.
Adds a bunch of legal stuff to it and makes it way more easy to completely bypass that Gulf of Mexico rule because now it's called Gulf of America.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna see some interesting pushback on that. But let me tell you what we should do with the Panama Canal. We should not go down and say, Panama, sorry, it's ours again. You can't do that. That's what Russia's doing to Ukraine. We can't do that. Okay. What we need to do is we need to recognize that the asset that we gave up, we shouldn't have gave up, but we gave up.
Right.
And we need to go down and influence Panama. Hey, we're your neighbors here. We're wealthy. We don't want you working with the Chinese. Okay. What do you guys, how can we take care of you? That's how it needs to be. What do you need from America that we can support you? And let's create some new rules where we kind of control the Panama Canal now.
Yeah.
You guys don't need the headache of dealing with all these foreign nations. You know, that's the way we need to do it.
I think you need our protection, huh?
Basically, yeah.
I think maybe you need our protection, right? Special. I think you need a little bit more protection from us.
But we don't really need to do that because it's Panama. Right. So what I'm trying to say is, like, we've been working in Panama for years. Panama would love for the U.S. to help build its economy and to help. Owning the Panama Canal was great, but we need to do it the right way.
My question is, why is Panama not filthy rich?
Well, it's the same problem that you have. It's when people get into power, they just want to take care of themselves, and there's no good foundation for the country's political system. Like our country, the reason why our country is successful and didn't like break down right away is we built like a really strong framework for our constitution and how things work, so that our forefathers were like, let's make it so people can't randomly just come in and screw up our country.
Right.
So the problem with a lot of these other countries that used to be colonial Spain is when they came in, usually some rich person became in power, then became president. And so there was no framework set up other than to like, I want to stay in power, so I'm going to do whatever the heck I want. So I don't want anything that would have checks and balances and systems like that. So these countries are easily have difficulty growing, like Mexico and some of these other countries have a hard time becoming wealthy because there's so much, greed occurring.
So corruption. Yeah.
Corruption. Yeah.
All right. Last topic before we head out, and I want to highlight this. Chappie said, guys, you have memberships on Rumble unlocked now too. Awesome. Wow. Didn't know that was a thing.
We're gonna have to explore Rumble a little bit.
Yeah,
figure out what's going on here.
We're gonna have to be looking at a Rumble. I didn't know we had all these things on Rumble. Thank you guys. Thank you, Chappie. I did want to go out on I wanted to go out quickly on a topic that I found interesting, hilarious.
Wait, are we going out? Or we're not going to talk about Canada?
Oh, you want to talk about Canada next?
We got to. It's like it's never going to be talked about again. This is it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about Canada first. Then we're going to go out on my topic.
So
let's talk about Canada. The 51st.
We're only a little over an hour.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's talk about Canada first. Canada. Is Canada becoming the 51st state? Now, by the way, I do not believe this will happen.
No.
But I think it's funny that people are so up in arms about people discussing the possibility of it happening and Trump trolling people a little bit with it.
Do you know why he said it?
Because of what, tariffs and stuff, right? Like there's some other plan here.
He's applying pressure to them.
Right.
So he's applying pressure to Canada because we're not getting good deals. We are spending 200, whatever, what was it? A lot of money. I can't remember the top. It was like $200 million a year or something like that. We're just giving Canada money. Jeez. And we're protecting Canada and all this stuff. And we basically don't get anything from Canada.
Why do we do this?
I mean, there's some things that some products come from Canada, but we don't like, we're required to buy like 20% of their cars. Like he's like, we don't need your cars. So he's saying, maybe you guys, if we're just going to support you, maybe we should just make you a state. So think about it, guys. Why did he say this? Because he wants them to go, oh, okay, well, we don't want to become a state, so we're going to have to find a way to be more beneficial to America. Ding, ding. That's it. That's the whole reason he said it. Same reason he said it to Mexico, because he wants them, when he goes to the table to deal with them, he wants them to be like, we have to do something, because he's showing exactly how unfair the whole situation is. It really is. Why are we taking care of the entire world? Why? To help foster democracy? Well, last time I checked, Canada's just fine. It's like, they're democratic. Why are we giving them money? So anyways,
yeah,
he's got a point.
I don't understand why any country gets money from us.
Oh, here's the reasoning. Stability. So we justified it as trying to keep other democratic nations stable. Problem is, the world's changing and we can't afford. Has anybody seen our debt? Okay. We can't afford to just keep giving money to people. So we're going to have to find different ways. It's going to have to be more balanced, or you're just part of our territory. If we're going to take care of you, then you should just be part of our territory. So I don't think he means it seriously. And of course, what's hilarious is throughout this whole thing, Justin Trudeau is stepping down.
Yeah,
right?
that's always a good
About
thing.
this.
Justin Trudeau is like, you know what? No one likes me here. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna leave.
It hasn't worked out. He went to see Trump, and Trump like owned him. You know, it did not work out well. So, will Canada become the 54th state? Absolutely not. But at the same time, are we going to get better deals? Are we going to stop giving so much money to Canada? I think so. I think when Trump comes into office, we're going to just stop giving money to people all over the world. Like, we want to support people for when it's to our benefit. And that's what Trump's talking about. Why would we give people money when it doesn't benefit us? Why would you?
Yeah.
Because the government is made up of people who said, that's the way we've always done it. And that's why we continue to do it. It's insanity.
No,
It
there's
makes
some
no sense.
kickback there too. Like, that someone's like, all right, we're gonna give money to you, but I need you to kick back. There's real iffy suspect backdoor deals, back room deals going on here with the government.
And that's the way it should work as far as when you're helping two different countries. You're right. Now you look at Ukraine, Biden and Hunter Biden, all that stuff. And yes, politicians have been getting rich off of these deals forever. But the reality is that if two countries can help each other, they should, but it's got to be on some sort of an equal basis. You can't take advantage. And the problem is how can I say this without being offensive? Canada and Mexico have been sucking off of the tit of America for too long. Okay. And it's time for you to grow up, go out there and get a fucking job. You can't live at home anymore, guys. Okay. So you're going to have to start paying some rent. Okay. You're going to start paying some rent to live on this continent. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So, take care of the security of this continent. You got to pay some rent.
All right. This is what President Trump said. He said, many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the U.S., there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of the Russian and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them.
Jesus.
Together, what a great nation it would be.
Guys, he's just trying to force them into good negotiations. I promise you. He's not.
Although wouldn't it be epic if this dude took the Panama Canal, bought Greenland, and annexed Canada all on his term?
No, it wouldn't be good. But if he can accomplish it through good deals and getting them to want to do it. Listen, if they all want to be a part of America and somehow are going to add to it. Now, here's the problem. Like, you can't add, like, I granted it's a lot of land and I don't know how much of Canada is actually useful. But, the problem is that, we also have an infrastructure problem. There's a reason why Puerto Rico hasn't become a state yet. It would cost so much money to make it, the same as the United States. See, the United States has these requirements. So you have to have certain standards, certain school standards, highway system standards, all these different things. So by taking on another country, you also have to spend the money to infrastructure it, which we don't really have the money for anyways. The best thing to do is for Canada and the U.S. to have a great working relationship, have good deals going back and forth for each other. And the same thing should be with Mexico. Hey, Mexico, why don't you let us come down? And we'll bring all of our military. Hold on. Don't nobody get upset. Hold on. We'll bring all of our military into your country for a short period of time, and we'll eradicate all of your cartels. Okay? We'll help you build the framework of a democratic government, a proper democratic government, where you actually have the people have power and not your drug cartels. And then let's all be friends. Okay? Let's do it. There's ways to make this a safer, better continent.
Except for the majority of the officials that would make that deal are bought and paid for by the cartels.
That's the problem, is that literally the cartels are the government to some degree.
So at what point are you just like, all right, guys, you're not handling it. So
Well, we can close our border, and that'll be good enough for now. But if we wanted to seriously have our neighbors, help our neighbors, there's ways to help the neighbors to make it better for all of us. But we really have to work together, and they can't take advantage of us.
I think SEAL Team 6, some off the books CIA ops, and just go take out the heads of these cartels.
I'm sure they've considered it, but I don't know.
Right?
I don't know, man. Honestly, the cartels are really, really dangerous. And they're in the moment. Here's what's really troubling. The moment Russia and China starts backing these cartels, that's when we're going to have a real problem.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if China isn't already doing it. So,
yep, me neither. Okay. Well, that's Canada. That's Mexico. Let's talk about our last topic of the day. I want to go out on a really fun note here, okay?
This is troubling.
Shane, you've heard of CES, right?
Oh, yeah, we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there. CES is a trade show in Las Vegas where they show off new and emerging technologies, and it's actually pretty great. I used to go there every year for years until I had kids and family and a lot more bills, and it's not possible anymore. But, interesting enough, we got to see something at CES Las Vegas 2025. The first ever full body Android.
Don't get too excited right now.
This is actually pretty great. So this is an AI-powered Android. It's currently in a female form, and the guy's going to talk all about it right now. It's actually pretty short, but I did research this, and look, you can own your own for a mere $200,000. So let's watch the clip, and then I'll explain more.
This is Aria. So this is our flagship humanoid AI-powered robot. She's highly realistic. She has her own social media, so she might be competing with you one day.
Can you replace humans for jobs?
I'm excited to be here at CES
darling,
2025.
I'm more about enhancing human experiences rather than taking jobs. Think of me as your entertaining plus one.
She's not meant to replace humans, just be your...
She's not meant to replace humans.
She can drive around full body, 175,000.
I gotta say, they knew exactly what they were doing when they put her in the skin tight overalls or whatever those are.
Moving base. She's not walking, but she can move. She can drive around, on a Roomba base. She has LED lights to convey more emotion. Red means angry or green. Yeah. So trying to...
All right, I'm going to cut off there. Interesting enough, there's a lot more footage of this, and at one point, the guy who's leading the booth literally goes, she could be there for companionship. You can put her in charge of being a waitress or a receptionist. She can be a girlfriend. They're smart enough to learn from you. And the guy's like, wait a minute, you said girlfriend? And the grin on his face was so, it was like Chester Cat. It was like the Joker grin. It was, look, this is where we're going, guys. This is the future. It's only going to cost you $200,000 for the base model.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, this is what's freaky is listen, this is like Megan, the the movie Megan, right? That just came out last year. The Megan 2 is coming out, I think, this year.
Right.
And here's the thing is, there's a lot of guys who would love to have one of these around, but the problem is that's all it's really good for, bro. Like what they say, like receptionist. No, let's be clear. All this is a girlfriend. That's all they created this for, was to be a girlfriend, and they just don't want to say it.
This
like
is
that.
a jizz repository. That's
all it is. All that men have been working towards this for decades. This is the whole point.
This is a jizz repository with an AI built-in speaker.
I'm telling you, Stepford Wives. You guys have seen the movies. I mean, look, this is where people have been trying to go for a long time.
It learns from you. We can have deep conversations.
Tell you whatever you want to
hear. Stop talking.
Remember Mud's wives from Star Trek?
Yeah.
Like you could control him. Hardcore fence, right? He could shut her up whenever he wanted to.
Yeah, so a base model is like $175,000 for like, so you can buy a $10,000 one where it's just the head or something, but for the full body, it's about 175 grand base model.
You've looked into
if you want to, I did. If you want to customize it, so someone in here said, I'm thinking 7 of 9 cosplay if I buy one. Yeah, so if you want it to look like 7 of 9 specifically,
Jerry Ryan's gonna make so much
it's
money.
going to cost you about $250,000, and you have to get the life rights. So you can't just ask to look like 7 of 9. It needs to be someone that you have life. Now, I'm assuming a lot of people would sell their life rights to be a fake girlfriend. So
For enough money.
essentially, it's a sex robot that talks to you. Essentially.
Well, that's the question they didn't ask. Like, is it fully autonomous?
You know there's attachments
Is
for
it fully,
that.
is it fully?
Why else would they make it look that way?
Why is it so?
Why is it
like,
so
attractive
curvy?
looking?
It's so curvy.
Come on, guys. Wait, you got to show it. Like, I think we're just looking at. We're not looking at it. Like, they're not seeing it out there.
Oh,
they just see us.
Oh, I think they saw it though.
Yeah, but they'd rather look at that.
Let me get you another video of it. So,
to me, it's a little creepy, actually.
I mean, sure, I guess.
We know where you stand.
I mean,
those two guys. The one you got to show is those two guys talking. That was funny.
Yeah, that one's funny. I took a screenshot of that on our main channel. Got like
I saw that.
I think we got like
on Twitter
300 fucking likes. Where is it? Oh, it's still going. So here we go. All right, here's the video.
This is Aria. So this is our flagship humanoid AI-powered robot. She's highly realistic. She has her own social media, so she might be competing with you one day. What makes her really special is that you can talk to her and ask questions. So maybe we can have her introduce herself and say something.
Why is her mouth slightly open?
I'm Aria, the flagship female companion robot of Realbotics.
What's the purpose of this?
Some of our peers in the robotic space make...
What's the purpose of this? What's the purpose of this? Why am I so confused right now?
He's like, what's the purpose of this? He goes, you fucking.
Oh my god. Look at the look on its face behind him. I'd be afraid she'd kill me, dude. Honestly, I'd be afraid she'd murder me. I just
robots to replace human labor. We think that's a great area, but we think there's a much bigger area in having.
Look at him back there.
He's like, we know people want robots to replace human labor. We think that's a big area, but we think an even bigger area is fucking.
He's not wrong, man. I'm telling you, he's not wrong. If somebody said, "Listen, would you rather have a robot that will wash your dishes or something that will take care of you in the bedroom?" I mean, what would you pick?
Can I have the dishes?
All right. The dishes, absolutely.
Social robots. So, for example, at a convention like this, we can draw a crowd very easily. Aria's been a little bit of a rock star.
I bet you
here,
do.
with people taking pictures and coming over. So she can promote your brand. The AI is all customizable, so she can learn all about you and your brand, and she can continue to communicate.
She's like,
to people. There's a huge epidemic amongst adolescents and seniors on loneliness. So she can be programmed to know you and.
That's one way to solve loneliness. Give him a robot.
That's what he just said. Like, literally, you can solve your loneliness by giving you a Come on, man. I mean, maybe there's some... It's possible that some people really need this, Brian. But they better be mega rich.
I don't need it.
Learn more about you. So she can make that bond with you that feels like a genuine human connection.
She can make that... He almost made a mistake and said the wrong thing. He made that bond with you.
So he can bond with you.
He wasn't sure how to say it.
Watch this face right here.
They clean the house. They don't do physical labor, but they're more there to converse with you.
More there to
fuck you. Converse with you. Fuck you. You're more there to converse. Fuck you.
it's companionship. They can actually even be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So we have built that into our...
Whoa, look at his eyes. Whoa. His eyes got all big.
Oh, the girlfriend experience, you say.
Oh, okay.
That cost extra in Vegas. Oh, God, that was so funny.
That's great.
Oh, okay. I think we're going to wrap it up here, my friends. Archmage says, Bond with her USB ports.
Bond with her. Oh, my God.
Kenneth La Rocque, you're asking Brian.
I know, right? That's the problem. Like when he tweeted that, I'm like, I already know. He already looked this up.
How come all the robots coming out looking like they came out of the same factory as Johnny Cab from Total Recall? Except it gets hits and holes.
Which is funny is that was actually made to look like Robert Picardo from Star Trek, the Johnny Cab. He did the voice.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Hey, great news about Rumble. I'm glad that we're over there. I'm glad that's working. That we can get Rumble Rats and all that stuff. I'm glad people are watching. I'm sort of shocked.
I couldn't figure out I can't figure out where it is on X.
It's in X. It's playing right now on X. You want the link?
Well, I was like, I went to our channel there, and
on the right hand side.
Find it.
Here's a link. Anyways, so we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep streaming on all these platforms. Okay. And we appreciate you guys coming to watch us. I know some of you guys came from the Salted Saturday Show. Hopefully, if we're new to you, hit the subscribe button. We got heavily throttled when we got demonetized for the third time. Was it second time or third time? Second time, right?
This is the second time we've been demonetized.
It feels like the third time for some reason.
It always feels like the third time. And there's a great song about that.
But
feels like the first time.
But when that happened, we got throttled. So if you're just finding us, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to come to us and check us out on Rumble, then do that too.
The title on X is "We Didn't Start the Fire." Did you really do that Billy Joel song title?
Well, the thing is, when I went to go start it, no, hold up. There's a reason behind it. I went to go start it.
There is some concern. We are in Southern California,
and it was like the title was like test stream, and I don't know why it said that. It was like the default. So I was like, change title. And there's no way for me to insert the whole title from YouTube, so I just typed in "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Hey, we had 9 people watch from Twitter. That was cool.
Sort of shocking. But listen, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Remember, you can also support us by going to mxtz.co/brain. A link will come up right after this. Stay for the last 20 seconds, because I think it's a pretty cool little piece of music I put together. And we'll see you guys next week. You have anything else, Shane?
Yes, next Saturday we'll be back, and it was great to see you guys again. We're going to be talking about all the cool things going on. We appreciate you. We love you. And thanks for spending your Saturday with us. Love you guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you next Saturday.
Here comes the